Linear motion. In the previous videos we have declared some dynamical variables just like distance, displacement, and from that the time rate of change of distance is speed, and after that the time rate of change of displacement is velocity. Now with these four variables we try to understand the graphical method, how it actually represents the real happening or occurrences or scenarios around us. So let us try to say it. Just imagine you're just looking outside your window and you see a tree. Okay, the first day you see it at that position, and the second day you see it at the position, and the third day on the evening you see it in the same position. On the seventh day at the morning, you again see it in the same position. So you can say the tree does not change its position with respect to the immediate surroundings and time. So you declare that the motion, state of motion of the tree is at rest. But if I try to analyze this, try to represent it graphically, then how it looks like. Just think what I have said. To fix the phenomena of immediate surroundings, we consider a reference point. And now we consider reference point is u. And the object you want to observe, that is a tree. So you are measuring the position of the tree with respect to u. So you are the reference point here. Each and every day you are standing at the same positions on your window and try to look outside towards the tree. On the first day, I want to say the first day it is at this position. This is the observations on the first day. Now if you're looking at the second day is the position vector with respect to you are the reference point here. It is at again the same position. Now on the third day it is position is like this. So on the fourth day and go on, we get the position like here. So if we try to connect all these points here, what it will represent? It will represent, it becomes a straight line which is parallel to that of the time axis of the position versus time graph. So in the position versus time graph, it shows a parallel to that of the time axis. The graph is parallel to that of the time axis. So these basically represent any object which is at rest. Why? Because with the changing time, the position is not changed. Now I want to say that then what is displacement? The displacement is defined as somehow like this. Displacement is defined as RF minus RI with respect to the final position, with respect to the origin or reference point, the position vector of the final position, with respect to the origin or reference point, the position vector of the initial position. If we subtract this, then we get the displacement. So it is RF vector minus RI vector. So this is basically the displacement. So if I want to say what is the displacement of the tree, now you say, is it moves? Is it move with respect to time? So that there is no question of moving from the initial position to that of the final position. It is not actually moving. We can say mathematically that initial position and the final position is the same with the increasing time. As the time goes on, obviously the trees is does not cutting down, or trees just uprooted due to some storm or something. So if it will be at that particular position, then the initial position, the final position that you are observing at several time intervals. Just like on the first day, if you say it is the initial time, then on the second day it is the final time, no position is changed. So the difference between the position vectors will be 0. 0 vector, null vector, that is not changing. Since that is not changing, so if I want to represent the displacement with time, now I am representing the displacement with time. So for the first day, second day, first day, second day, if you say the third day and fourth day, whatever be it, the displacement is 0. So what we can say that the curve is now parallel to, not only parallel, it is on the time axis, and it is parallel to that of the time axis. So we are basically trying to project the same scenario. In the first graph, we try to project the position vector of an object, how it changes with time. We try to understand this thing. And we have seen it is not changing and the position vector is parallel to that of the time axis. Now, if I try to draw the displacement versus diagram of that particular object, it is also representing the rest. Okay. So, it is parallel to that of the, not only parallel, more specifically, it is along the time axis. Now you just imagine yourself. Now you are on the railway platform and you are sitting on the railway platform waiting for something to go to your desired aim or location. A through train passes. So if a through train passes, you're just observing that train. If you just observing that train, you see that the train is continuously moving and it just passes. After that, when it just passes from you, when it just leave you, when the last coach of the train just leave you, at that time you just try to calculate the displacement of the train. And here I have considered the railway track you are looking for, that is completely straight, no bending is there. So you are just watching the train, and when you just watching the train, at that time you just see that it is just moving away from you. At the same time you are just observing at which distances it is moving. Okay, then you will see that the train is moving away from you. The separation between you and the last coach of the train is just increasing with you, increasing from you, and you just starting the observation when the last coach of the train just leaves you, that is t equal to 0, and you are just looking at this, and as it moves away from it, it is just like move away. As the time increases, the distance of the last coach from the train will increases from you. So just imagine the fading away of the train is representing this type of thing. Now I introduce a new quantity. It is called the slope. Okay, it is called the slope. Why I introduce this quantity? Just think, after drawing the s versus t curve, that is displacement versus time curve for that particular train, you want to know what is the velocity of it. So you take a point, that is at particular time t1 the train is at here, and what is the velocity of it. So what you have done, you just draw a triangular section like this, slightly beyond this and slightly beyond off of this. Then since it represents the edge, so it will be the del S vector, and since it represents the time, so it will be the del T. So you consider a very small time interval del T around T1, so such that you can say that it is T1 minus del T by 2, and it is T1 plus del T by 2. Del T by 2 this side and del T by 2 this side, so that this type of triangular section is formed. So this triangular section you have seen, that is, it is the del S distance it is moving. So the curve is like this. The slope is defined as the change in the y-axis, that is del S, divided by the change in the x-axis, that is the time axis. Okay, so T1 plus del T by 2 minus T1 minus del T by 2. So the change is now del T. So change in the y-axis divided by the change in the x-axis. Actually what it represents? Actually it represents the velocity of that particular time interval del T. It is represents the velocity of that particular very small time interval del T. If we consider that del T is very small, now, that is we just constricting this time interval to a point. That is our main aim. If we consider this, then we get the v instantaneous, the velocity of the train at that particular time T1. Then it will be limit del T tends to 0, del S divided by del T. Okay, so that is will be the gives us the velocity, instantaneous velocity at that particular time. But if I want to see how the velocity of it, how the displacement changes with time, so I take T1 at time T1. Now I take another time is, that is T2, that is the graphical analysis mainly. So again I do the same type of thing. Again here I get the del S prime and del T prime. Okay, this is the slope at T1. Okay, this is the slope at T1. I just give it as a V, and in the slope at this position will be del S prime del T prime, and that is V prime. Okay, that is V prime. Now just think of it little beyond it, that is you just think of it trigonometry now. Now just think very simple thing, that if it is a right angle triangle, then it is called the hypotenuse, it is called the perpendicular, it is called the base. If it is, then if this angle is theta, obviously if this angle is theta, the perpendicular and the base will be just reverse, just changes their position. So tan theta equal to perpendicular divided by base. Okay, am I clear? So if I want to write down the slope here correctly, I basically here write down the theta 1, tan theta 1 rather, at that particular position, because del S here represents basically the perpendicular, and it represents basically the base. So more specifically we can write down it is basically the tan theta 1. Okay, and the slope is also determined universally, that is m1. Now here for T2 at time interval T2, that is we can denote as m2, and that will be similarly If we consider this is theta 2, that is tan theta 2. Now just think of it. Now you just think of it. If you just think of it, just think whether del S and del S prime is any change in length. Or if we calculate the ratio, that is del S by del T and del S prime by del T prime, then we can see that del S prime by del T prime should be equal to del S by del T. Okay, del S prime by del T prime, del S by del T is equal. Okay, because geometrically this represents the same line. Here basically the angle theta 1 theta 2 I have referred, but it is not changed because it is straight line. The angle is made by it with the time axis remains the same because there is no curvature. The geometry allows us to say it. So I can write this thing equal from our geometrical point of view, that is tan theta 1 equal to tan theta 2, and this allows us to write this. If this allows us to write this, then it will be v1, that is it is v prime and it is v, that is the velocity at these two different instants, that is t1 and t2 is same. So we can say that the train is moving with the uniform velocity. So you can say, you can write down the general statements like that. If the curve is parallel to that of the time axis, here I want to make one change, parallel or along the time axis, then it represents the motion of the rest object. Okay, and if it is straight line, that is making a certain angle with the time axis and thereby making a certain angle or definite angle, you can say, with the time axis, then it is moving, means the particle is moving with uniform velocity. So we can make these two conclusions. Basically, here we can make a general statement also. If it is parallel time axis, the variable we are representing on the y-axis, along the y-axis, it is not changed with time. It is parallel or on the time axis, then it will not change with time. And here we can say it is changed at a uniform rate or in a uniform manner with time. Now just think, in the previous example we have seen the velocity of that particular train that I want to observe, that I am trying to observe and draw the displacement versus time curve. It is not changing. So if I want to draw this, if I want to represent this by a diagram, then it will be velocity at time. So this velocity versus time curve if I want to draw with the changing time, the velocity is not changed. And I have said that if the variable that is represents along the y-axis is not changed with time, then the graph will be parallel to that of the time axis. Will be parallel to that of the time axis. Now just think of it. Now you are on a bus stop. You are trying to catch your bus and try to move to the desired location. Now just you are watching a very fast running jeep, police jeep, and since it is running, if you want to track its displacement from you, now you are the reference point, then you will see, if you just try to track the data and try to draw it, then the displacement from you is like this. So what it actually represents with the increasing time, if I say this is a time, at this particular time it is here, okay, say it is the 1 minute, let us say, and when it is 2 minute, just see the gap from here to here. The gap is uniform, 0, 1, 2, the gap is uniform. But just look at the time axis. Here it is this, but here it is like this. So obviously the displacement with time is changed at the uniform rate. No one say it is equal. In 1 minute, first 1 minute it moves this distance. In the second 1 minute it will move from here to here. Obviously these two are not same. But if I want to categorize in terms of slope, I just draw it again. Okay, I just draw it again, and it is just something like this, and it takes 2 time intervals. Let us take this is our first time, okay, and this is the first time. At that particular time, if I want to draw the slope, obviously it is not a straight line, so what we have to do, we have to draw a tangent that is passing through this point. Let us consider it as a P point. At the P position you want to observe this, so you draw a tangent passing through P, and you have consider this thing. So you just consider this is del S1, you just consider this is del SP, I refer, and it is del TP. So around T1, just like before, I am not describing it again, so you just consider time interval del TP around it. So just look at this. So this basically represents the velocity of that police jeep, and that will be del SP divided by del TP, and this represents the angle theta p. So I can say it is tan theta p. Okay. Now if I consider another instant, that is T2, at that time the particle is somewhere here at the point Q, let us say. So at this particular point Q, if I want to draw, then what I have to do? Again I have to draw a tangent, because it is not a straight line. I have to draw a tangent, that is, we can say that is del SQ, and that is del TQ. So that is VQ, velocity of the Q at the point Q. So that is del SQ, divided by del TQ. and if the angle is here tan theta q, the angle is also changing because it is not the straight line, so the angle each and every point is changing. So obviously tan theta p and tan theta q is not the same thing. And again if you looking this, the del tp, just look at this line del tp. Del tp is greater than that of del tq. So if I write down this thing, del tp is greater than that of del tq. And again if you look at this del sp obviously is smaller than del sq. So del sq vector is obviously greater than that of the del sp. So now just think of little bit mathematical. Del sp vector divided by del tp vector, sorry, not vector, and here del sq vector divided by del tq. So just think of it, del sp is obviously small but del tp is greater. So if you divide a smaller number by a greater number, and here del sq is a greater number and del tq is a smaller number, okay, so obviously it is greater. We just take a rough estimate that del sp is of the order of 2 and del tp is of the order of 3. It will be 2 by 3, but here it becomes 3, it becomes 2. Del sq is greater number and del tq is a smaller one, so it is obviously becomes more greater. And del sp is a smaller number and del tp is greater, then it again, due to this division, it again becomes smaller. So it basically represents the velocity of the particle at the point q, and it basically represents the velocity of the particle at the point p. So vq is greater than vp. So velocity at the point q is greater than vp. So what this curve represents, this curve represents the velocity at the point q is greater than the velocity at the point p. So it is increasing like this. But we can analyze here a slightly different way, that is the 1 minute, t equal to 1 minute, and that is t equal to 2 minutes. At that point it is at the particular position, say s1, and at that point it is say particular point s2. Okay, so here also I can calculate the velocity. If I want to calculate the average velocity, that is from 1 minute to 2 minutes over a long time interval, here I am calculating the micro level, that is the instantaneous thing, that is del p, which is very less than that of the order of the minute, or if it is maybe order of the microsecond or several millisecond, but it is order of 1 minute, that is 60 seconds, is much greater than that of it. And in the midway between this time, the particle's velocity is changing abruptly and reaches another value. So if I want to take over that particular time interval from t equal to 1 minute to t equal to 2 minutes, so it will never give the instantaneous value, but it gives the average value over this time interval. So we can say that is s2 minus s1, it is t2 minus t1. So we can say that s2 minus s1 is a change in the displacement within the 1 minute, that is 2 minutes minus 1 minute within a particular minute. So it gives the change, the average velocity. So two curve in the two way we can analyze this thing. In the first way, it gives drawing the tangent and then the slopes, and after that the calculating the slopes, we get the analyze the motion, that is we get where the motion is, how the velocity is increasing with time. And here if I want to understand, this gives it gives from this curve, it is clear to us that is a non-uniform motion. The quantity that is representing along the y-axis is not changing at the uniform rate, but here the quantity that's represented at the y-axis is changing at the non-uniform rate. By we going to calculate a number. Our information up to this, it is the obviously it is a non-uniform, but if I want to calculate the average of this thing, that we basically do, that is the total distance in this time interval that is divided by total time, total interval of time, so we get the average value. So this basically gives the average value. Now if I want to represent, if this rate of change, if I want to say if this average velocity and if this rate of change, obviously the velocity at the point Q is greater than that of the velocity at the point P, obviously it is greater than, okay. But if I want to represent the velocity with time, if I want to represent the velocity with time, and if it is changing at the uniform rate, that is the change from Q to P is, if I take another point R here, capital R, and if anyone analyze this thing, the velocity at the point R, then and the time T3 is perfectly at the middle of T1 and T2, and the velocity of the at the point R is perfectly in between Q and P, okay. So we can say that the velocity that is changing here from P to R to Q, that is at the uniform rate. Here I am talking about the change in displacement, how it is changing with time, that is obviously a non-uniform. But the velocity, if I am talking about the velocity's change with time, how the velocity will change with time, there we can see from P to R the velocity changes, that is if the T3 is in the perfectly in between T1 and T2, then the velocity at the point R is perfectly in between the P and Q. Then we can say that the velocity is changed at a uniform rate. Then we can represent this thing like this way, like this way. Now this is obviously the velocity is changing at the uniform rate with time, okay. Now just think, it obviously makes an certain angle with the time axis or along the x-axis. But if anyone want to know, if anyone have no information about the curves that I have drawn before, no information about this, but anyone want to know what is the displacement in between the time interval in between 1 minute and 2 minutes, so he just specifies these two positions, 1 minute and 2 minutes. At these two particular positions, it intersects here, and at 2 minutes it intersects somewhere here. Now the student that is given, he got the velocity versus time graph, and it is asked that calculate the displacement from it. So just think it, if it is told to calculate the displacement from it, what is displacement basically is? Displacement is basically velocity into time. So displacement basically is the velocity into time. Now if the student calculate the area under this curve with the time axis, between the curve and the time axis, the bounded the area, what he will get? He will get the displacement here, okay. So if I try to calculate this area, let us, it is A, it is B, it is C, and it is t. Let us at that particular moment, let us consider the velocity at that particular moment is at the t1, that the velocity at the point P. Here we consider at the point P the velocity is Vp, and at that point Q the velocity is, okay, ABCD is basically representing the different positions on the curve, but P and Q basically represents the position of the police jeep at that particular moment. So at the point P velocity is Vp, at the point Q velocity is Vq. So how we will get the information about the displacement? So obviously this thing is slightly hectic. So what he will do, he will just try to divide into 2 and just say it is E. So now the total area is divided into 2, I will not say 2 halves, but I will say it is 2 sections. Okay, so if I want to calculate the area of it, the area is the area of what? A, B, C, E, D, A. Again return back to A. Now this can be represented as area of A, B, E, D plus area of B, C, E. Obviously it is an quadrilateral and it is a triangle. And which type of quadrilateral? Rectangle. The area of the rectangle can be found out from the length and into breadth. What is the length here? We can say the length is ED and breadth is AD, whatever be it, AD. And it is ED. Okay. So this is basically representing the time at 2 different intervals T1 and T2. And what is the area here? Area of the triangle is basically, we know that the base into height. So this is the base and this is the height. So base is BE and the height is CE. So if I want to represent this thing AD, what is AD basically? AD basically represents T2 minus T1. What is ED basically? ED. What is ED? ED is basically here represents the velocity along this axis Vp. 1 by 2. What this BE actually represents? BE actually is parallel and equal to that of AD. So what is AD? It is exactly equal to that of BE. So we can say it is T2 minus of T1. What is CE? At the point E it intersects here VP, at the point C it intersects here VQ. That will be VQ minus VP. VQ minus VP. So if the velocity of the point P and the point Q, if all of this thing is known to him, then he can easily calculate the area. And what the area gives, the V and T, if we multiply, we'll get the displacement. So it will give the displacement in between the time interval T1 and T2. So basically these two curves and this one represents the same phenomena but in different ways. This curves gives us the information, that is, it is the non-uniform motion, the velocity, how it is changing, the rate of change. These curves gives us, if it is a non-uniform motion from it at a particular time interval, we can calculate the average velocity. And this curve, after drawing the data from S versus T curve here, if we try to analyze this thing, At that time we will get the, by calculating area we get the displacement. So this is the scenarios. The next one you will see lots of things about this. Thank you.